Hi, welcome to another pregnancy journal diary update entry. I have filmed this intro about 100 times because I cannot speak today. So we'll just see how this goes. Quite a few weeks to cover because I'm ready to just get updated and live in the present because I am now 16 weeks pregnant and I want to talk about what's happening now in my life. We're just briefly gonna cover the rest of the weeks, mostly so I have it documented for myself, and if you're following along on this journey because you're kind of pregnant with me, then it's just fun to compare stuff. So before I get into week by week story time, I am feeling freaking fantastic being in the second trimester. So if you are like living, swimming, slugging through first trimester land, you can do it. The light is right around the corner because all of a sudden I have energy again and I feel bigger, but I am like feeling like there's sunshine in the world and that there's a reason to get up in the morning, and it's so nice after what feels like 1,000 years of exhaustion. So you can do it if you're right around the corner. I'm gonna zip on over to week number 11 because that's where I left off. And that's also where I decided to announce my pregnancy to the internet world, which makes no sense whatsoever if you think about it, because you either kind of announce your pregnancy early or you do like the whole wait until 12 weeks or 3 months or later situation so that it's safer in case something goes wrong. But at 11 weeks, I don't know anything more about the baby than I did at 8 weeks. So I could have shared at 8 weeks, but I didn't. I don't know. I have no reasoning behind that. At 11 weeks, I was just like, it's now. The time is now. Let's do it. So we did this really, really fun photo shoot with my sister-in-law, Amanda. She's a great photographer, and she is always willing to entertain my weird ideas for photos. And I wanted to do something that coordinated with the Bible verse, like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born into one's youth, something like that. And I've always liked that verse since I was young, and I was like, one day when I get married and I find out I'm pregnant, I'm gonna give my husband an arrow and he's just gonna start weeping because children, are our destiny. And then, when I got older, I was like, that's super lame. But I kind of revisited that idea, and I thought, oh, we could totally do something cool with like a warrior theme because I love a good dress up session. So I'm gonna put the photos here. We went with kind of a 300 theme, and I just ordered some lame costumes off of Amazon, and we just made it work. It was mostly due to Amanda's good editing, but I always like a fun themed idea, and we had a lot of fun with it. That went out, and it just felt really nice not to have to hide things. It's just so bizarre to me that we have to, or whatever your choice is, whenever you share your pregnancy is the right time to do that for you and your family and for your reasons. But traditionally we like keep things on the down low from certain people or the public, and that's when you feel the worst, and you have to hide it, and you just don't get to commiserate with people. So man, it felt really good to have that out. Also in week 11, we traveled to Texas to see Dan's grandparents and some of his extended family. And I don't know why, but every time I'm pregnant, I decide to go see his family in the first trimester when I am like like a slug of a human being. I'm like, hi, I'm Joanna. Can I just take a nap on your carpet? That's like usually how things go. So I was super tired that trip, and I had horrible allergies. If you live in Texas, like what is going on down there? I was there when the oak season was crazy. I don't know, but I could not breathe. I was like sneezing 100 times a minute. It was wild. The allergy times were wild. But that's the first week that I really noticed my nausea was gone, which was awesome. So still stupid, exhausted, but not nauseous on week 11. We came back week 12. Honestly, I don't remember anything about because that was a month ago and I'm not living in the past. I got my 13-week checkup. No, I got my 12-week checkup at the end of my 13th week, like in the middle of my 13th week, which didn't make any sense to me. And I don't like have issues with my doctor, but I don't know if I'm going to stay with this doctor. or what I'm gonna do with the birth. So there'll be more on that later. But this second scan, it's everything because your baby looks like a baby. So I know I've shared this already on Instagram, but this is my little, my real baby photo. Like this baby, it was so awesome. Like it was doing like sit-ups and like scratching its face and like doing a little dance with its feet. It's just so cool to watch. Scans are so fun. So that I got at the 13th week, and that's when they told me they were going to change my due date, which I have also talked about on Instagram. So maybe you've already weighed in on that, but I have never heard of that before. I've heard of babies measuring ahead or behind, but you just are like, oh, I have a big baby or a small baby. And they were like, no, everything's measuring ahead, like the gestational sac and the placenta and like the amount of development is ahead. So, you know, we think we got it wrong last time, and even though you think you know when you conceived, which really bursts my bubble, you guys, because I've been on here like, oh, I know exactly when we conceived. And she was like, probably you didn't. You must have ovulated early. And I was like, lady, I don't think so, because I was doing all the tests and stuff. I don't know. So they moved my due date 5 days earlier, which is great. Like all of a sudden, boop, I was like 14 weeks pregnant instead of 13 weeks pregnant. And that's always fun to have time move faster in the pregnancy zone. But here's the deal. My due date now is November 7th instead of November 12th. If it's November 8th and I haven't had that baby, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be so mad. So they better be right. Comment below if you've had your due date changed. That just seems weird to like move that all around, and why move it if it's just a few days different? I don't know. Does it matter that much? I have questions. So that was really fun to see that. I'm just debating because every time I go to my doctor, I'm just reminded that I'm at a big practice. You know, it's just a hospital, it's a doctor's situation. I really like it there, I guess. But you're just like, hey, you doing okay? Okay, no problems? All right, bye, see you next time. It's just kind of like, maybe I want to talk about other birth options, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I want to dig a little deeper, and I know that they can't do that with how many patients they have, but that kind of sent me on like, do I want a midwife, and but then you have to change like your whole birth plan, and I don't really want to have a home birth scenario just because, yeah, that's a different story. But I don't know. There's a lot of choices. If you feel like you want to share your opinion on that, because some people have really strong birthing opinions. Actually, everybody, let's face it, everybody has a story or an opinion to share about birth if they've had a birth. So if you really liked your birth or didn't, what are my options? Let me know if you have any input on that. So that was week 13, but then this is where it gets funky because they changed my due date. So I turned 13 weeks on Friday, but then 2 days later, I turned 14 weeks. So it's like I skipped a whole week. So we're gonna skip that week too. So week 14 and 15, I'm not gonna lie to you, they've been awesome. And I'm so happy to sit here and say that they've been awesome. I don't have a lot to complain about other than the fact that suddenly my body's changing a ton, which is normal and it's okay. But I wouldn't be me if I wasn't on here talking about that's really hard. I've had a few like down bumming days a little bit because I put on like major butt and thigh lumps. They're not even like a good weight gain. I just get really lumpy, and I was like, oh yeah, there's the pregnancy butt. I remember that butt, and that it just doesn't if you're not a dancer or a performer, or you've not used your body your entire life for your career, then you might not fully understand what I'm saying, and you might be like, you privileged, self-absorbed little jerk, just get over yourself. But if you were a dancer or performer or anything like that, where, I mean, I grew up changing, critiquing, improving my body. The way my body looked, that was my craft. That was how I made money. That was my career. That was my identity. And I've come so far. Like, I know it can change. It can whatever. I really have a good amount of love and acceptance for that. That's fine. But man, when it changes, like changes, and I forgot that pregnancy changes your body, then it's just, whew, it throws you for a second. That's all I'm going to say. Just throws you for a second. So that has happened. My appetite has really gone up like crazy. I'm just hungry all the time. Like, I always stop and think, okay, am I just craving something weird, or am I really hungry? But I'm hungry. So I've been eating well, but eating a lot more, and my body's reacting as it should. And I just would be lying if I didn't acknowledge that has been hard. Anyway, that's all ramped up a little bit in the last few weeks, and it just makes it feel like pregnancy is getting real. Like, I'm really pregnant now. I'm not just sick or bloated. You know, it's like, oh yeah, this is really happening. Another thing that's happening so much earlier this time around, and it really just kicked in the last week, is I'm having major tailbone pain. And I think it's more joint pain. Like, I know the back of your pelvis, everything opens and everything's loosening. And you can get that, I know, in the front too, in your pubic symphysis, like things can move, and same thing around the back. And I had this last time, gosh, around 30 weeks. So exactly half of that is when I'm starting to, at 15 weeks is when I'm experiencing that pain. It feels like the back, kind of like by your sacrum, just is shifting, and I have a really, really sharp shooting pain on the left side where I stand up and I'm like, like my tailbone is breaking, is what it feels like. I'm trying to figure out how to change that in my activity. Do I need to do less single leg work? I just don't really know that much about that. So I'm going to try to do some research and let you know what I find out if you have similar pain. I feel like this week, maybe it's my size, maybe things are just moving and shifting a lot more, but I'm feeling a lot more pains that I felt way later last time. A little bit of lightning crotch already. Yay! Pregnancy is so fun. Woo! And round ligament pain. So just like a lot of sharp shooting pains everywhere. I'm like, oh, calm down. 15 weeks pregnant. We got a long ways to go. Come on, body. You can do this, right? Other than that, honestly, I would rather have sharp shooting pains in my crotch than be just exhausted and nauseous all the time. I'll take it. Shoot me in the crotch all day long. I am here for the energy and how I'm feeling right now. Cravings aren't insane. The affinity for spicy foods has increased. I was straight up eating pickled jalapenos from the jar, and like my mouth is on fire. And I'm like, yes, give me more. Let it burn. Let it burn. I don't know why. It's just spicy. I did not have that last time. We are starting to talk about names, which is really fun. It didn't feel right until just a week or so ago. Like, I just didn't even want to. I think maybe it's because I didn't have any sort of sense of the baby yet. And maybe this is another thing I want you to comment on. Did you guys feel like you really get a sense of who your baby is in utero? I really felt like, even before I knew Zoe was a girl, I kind of felt like it was like a spunky kind of baby, like in how she would move. And I'm starting to feel baby move a little more. Like, I can just barely feel it on the outside with my hand. Like, I know that it's moving because I can feel it from the inside, but then if I put a hand, like, sometimes I can feel little things moving around, and that is so magical. Even if you hate being pregnant, like, or it's a new process for you, that's so cool. It's the coolest. It's just the coolest. I can't. It's the best. After we found out that Zoe was a girl last time, the bigger and stronger she got, the more I really had a sense of like what her character, her personality was. And I was totally right about that. Some of the names we had picked out were more pretty and soft. And I was like, no, Zoe's like a little feistier than that. She needs a name that's just gonna really match her like zest for life, and it does. I feel like the name Zoe completely matches her and matches what I felt when she was still growing inside me. So I think I'm ready to wait to get that feeling with this baby too. That's making me a little bit more excited for finding out the gender. We're exactly 1 month away from finding that out because we'll do that at the 20-week scan. Okay, I feel like that's about it. I want to show you my belly because things are really changing, and my belly button. So I talked about this a little bit in the other video. It is officially an outie belly button, and I've never had an outie belly button in my life. It's always been an innie/in-betweenie. I don't know if that's a real thing. Look at it even in this shirt. Look at the belly button. That's so funny. So I don't know why. Like, where did that come from? Do you think it's just because the baby's higher and it's like pushed everything out? So here's my little bump shot. It's actually nice because like if I suck in, like you can tell that's a baby. It's not as much just bloat as it was at the beginning. But yeah, no, my belly button used to be like that. And then, you know, I got pregnant, and then postpartum it was like maybe down a little bit. But look at it, it's so funny. It's like a little mushroom or something. I don't know. So I officially have a popped belly button, which is kind of influencing like what I wear, because do you just rock the belly button? And you're just like, here's my belly button. It's just, there it is. I don't know. So right now I'm in like a very weird phase of body as far as pregnancy clothes. I definitely feel like it's a little more obvious that I'm pregnant, so I can highlight that if I want, but I'm not full in maternity like pants or shorts. So I'm really having a hard time dressing myself right now. I'm trying to work on that, just getting a few cheap things from like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and just trying to just dress myself. It's kind of challenging at this shape. But it's fun. I'm having fun with it. So that's about it. Next time I get to do a free reign update, talk about what's on my mind and what is happening like currently. So I'm really excited to be able to jump in and just share with you guys on like a daily or weekly kind of journal more feel, so that things are up to date. So thank you again for watching, and like this video if you can. It helps me a lot, helps the video get seen, and I'm trying to grow my little baby YouTube channel. So like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time for another update.